This post is a bit of a mishmash. I had lots of little things going on, but I had lots of other posts already scheduled which were more important. So what I've decided to do is all those posts which have been done over the last few weeks, actually, there's just been so much going on. They're all scheduled, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to shove this in as all the other bits and pieces that happened. There's all sorts of stuff that's been going on, just little things, nothing terribly exciting, but it's day-to-day life, and that's what this channel is all about. So yeah, so amongst little errands and bits and pieces I've been doing, and little observations, finishing up ready for Christmas. I did a clothing commission for a friend of mine, and I've also made a keepsake memorial. My friend's dog passed away last month, so I decided to hand make her a little memorial that she can keep with all the photos of the dog that I know they have on the wall. I've made it as a wall hanging. So I've been busy doing that, and all the other little, I've been making hand-making bracelets for my best friend for Christmas. We always do handmade gifts now. That's the thing. So I've been doing that this year. So that's really filled up the last week, because I suddenly realised, blimey, this is getting closer to Christmas than I realised, and I need to get cracking. So there's lots of little bits and pieces just all squished into one post, which will hopefully entertain you, and that will go out when I'm pretty much heading off for Christmas. I'm going to have less time once I'm away to do posts, so there won't be as many posts, but they will be in a completely different place and in a completely different routine, so that'll be a bit different. So yeah, so enjoy. I hope you're all alright. I hope you're keeping warm. I'm not, but we're okay. I mean, it's good for your health to get a little bit of cold in you. It toughens you up, and boy have I toughened up since I moved to the north 9 years ago. Don't know if you can see that. It's a chilly lunchtime. I'm cooking lunch. You can hear the frying pan going. I'm cooking lunch. Looking forward to that, and just finishing off. So yeah, enjoy this little show reel of the last week before I go away for Christmas, and I will almost certainly be speaking to you soon. Wednesday again. It's a good place to talk. 2 cleans until Christmas. I think one of my neighbours is moving out. I've just seen a lady let herself into the flat, and there are 2 sets of people queuing at the door to go in. It's horrible when you turn up to view somewhere and you're not the only one. That's happened to me before I moved in where I am now, actually. But I would turn up and there'd be like 10 people waiting to view. Hang on, I've just got to check something. Checking the tyres. We've got to double check before you go out. So I like to be really organised when I'm going away. I've got a lot to do. The day I'm going, I've got to go to Nottinghamshire first to meet my best friend and do the pre-Christmas and the pre-birthday farewell, even though I only get to see her a couple of times a year. And then I've got to drive all the way down south. So it's going to be a really long day. But at least it's just one day I'm doing it on, getting it out of the way. So I'm trying to plan everything well so that I get an early start, etc. I've confirmed with all my cleaning clients when I'm going to be away, and the businesses, slightly annoyingly, although I knew it was probably going to happen, both want a full clean before I go away, like literally the day before I go away. And because they are businesses, they're open, so that means I can't get in there until like 5:30, 6 o'clock, which means I'm going to be cleaning probably until about 9 o'clock in the evening. on the night before I'm due to go away, which means I need to be really, really organised the couple of days before, making sure I've cleaned the flat right through. So you just keep walking across the road, love. Yeah, making sure the flat is clean all the way through, making sure that everything is packed and ready and all stacked up in one place, making sure I've packed all the gadgets and the wires, all the presents, my walking gear, clothes. So I'm making lists of things that I need to do, make sure the boiler's off, make sure that I've set a light up on timer, all that sort of stuff. So I've started making my list already, and it's growing and growing and growing, perhaps no surprise. But I like to be organised, so, you know, making lists is like my thing. Yeah, one of the businesses wants me to do a full deep clean when I get back after Christmas. He wants me to do things I can't do, or things that I haven't been able to do yet because of the way the building works. He wants me to clean all the windows inside. The ceilings are like 10 foot, they're really high ceilings. It's like, what, you just want me to fly out there? He wants me to clean all the computers and stuff. I've asked them for computer cleaning solutions and stuff, and they haven't provided it. They want all the desks cleaned. I would like them to have a clear desk policy at the weekend so I can actually get to the desks, because at the moment half the desks are covered in paperwork and stuff when I go in there, and I'm not moving around people's work stuff, people's paperwork, things like that. That's not part of the job. If they want their desks fully cleaned, I want to go in there and see that the desks are completely clear and just have the computer-based stuff on there so that I can clean it. When I used to work in offices in London, we always had clear desk policies. You weren't allowed to leave anything on desks, so that whatever day the cleaners came in, they could do what they needed to do. So I've said, yep, I can do all that, no problem, but you've got to make sure X, Y, Z. So we'll see what happens. They're quite a disorganised company. I can imagine going in there at the weekend to do that clean, and I can't get to any of the desks. And I mean, it's quite a cosy office. It's almost like a family business, I think. There's always food lying around. There's coffee cups left all over the desks all weekend, coffee rings everywhere. They're quite a filthy bunch, to be honest with you. So I have to pick my way through the officialdom to get to the things that I can do. But it's not an easy office to do, and it's a big old building, so it's very high ceilings. It's quite awkward to clean in places. The way they've designed the architecture means it gets very dusty. The place is riddled with spiders and other bugs because it's an old warehouse. It's just one of those types of buildings, so you can like dust the entire building one week and the next week you come in and there are cobwebs and spiders everywhere. They get those cellar spiders and the place is absolutely full of them. So anyway, that's my tiny rant about cleans. In some ways I'd rather do houses than businesses, because you just pick your way through stuff in people's houses anyway. They know what they want you to clean and not clean and all that sort of thing. The businesses, you know, honestly, I think the businesses are more filthy. On the top level where the other businesses that I do, there's one guy who leaves you know the dental floss things that come with a little white handle, and it's like the floss is on a handle and you use it. He leaves those on his desk. If you think for 1 minute that I'm picking up someone's dental flosser, you've got another thing coming. Sorry. You're on your own. So I pick my way around things. It's like, really, if you want a desk fully cleaned, you've got to clear it, because I'm not moving people's stuff. What if I, you know, move someone's work and when they come in the next day, they can't find their stuff, or you know, that there's been a flow of work and it's left there for a reason. I do that at home. If I'm in the middle of a job, I will put the work down because I have a separate little workshop, it's a spare bedroom basically. and I will leave a job half done and I'll walk away and then come back to it and I can pick up straight away. So I know that, you know, it's not always practical to put everything away at the end of the day. But it does mean that the office desks get really dusty because the building just gathers dust like anything I've never seen anywhere. I go in twice a week and the dust every time I go in there, the way it settles, I don't know where it comes from. But yeah, so I'm always like picking through, you know, some desks are going, they're covered in crumbs and coffee rings and God knows what else, and it's like, really? They have like a coffee machine where they make their own ground coffee and there's always coffee grounds everywhere. Oh my goodness. Anyway, such is life. It's not really worth complaining about, really. It's not even a complaint, I'm just having a chat. I don't care. I get paid to do it. I'm not complaining. Some people seem to think I'm here to complain and get attention and complain about how hard my life is. It isn't. My life's really easy, actually. And that will really cheese people off. Some people. It's like, how dare you have an easy life? How dare you not be going to work every day to a job that you hate, just like me? There's a lot of that going on. I shouldn't chuckle, but I do. The thing is, you get these people who get angry and post comments, and all they're doing is upping your traffic on YouTube. And I don't know whether anyone's noticed this. I don't even know if it's a thing, but I've now been monetized on YouTube. I got to 1,000 subscribers, but it's a bit more than that. You also need to have 4,000 hours of viewing time, and I didn't even realise that I'd hit that ages ago. So it was just the subscribers I was waiting for, and then you have to apply to be monetized, and you have to apply to the Google ads and stuff, because YouTube is owned by Google. I don't think I'm going to earn very much. I mean, Google take 55% of everything you make on your ads anyway, so it's a business. I think I shall, if I make a couple of £100 in a year, I'll be lucky. That's, from what I read, that seems to be the way it works. Fair enough. We'll see. Hey, every penny counts, doesn't it? So I've just arrived for the clean. Oh, birds pooped on my window. Are you kidding? They're not here. The lady of the house has a hospital appointment, so they're going to be back at some point during my clean, so I'm going to get in and get cracking without having to do the small talk, which will be quite nice. They've given me a key and whatever. So yeah, so I'm here. It's cold today. Temperature has dropped, and I think it's going to be like 1 degree tonight, which is not going to be helpful now that I've banned the central heating again. But it is going to start rising again tomorrow, and we're going to get back up to like 12 degrees during the day in the next few days. So that'll be nice. I've actually been peeling back the bubble wrap on my front room windows on a few days just to let the natural light in, because I hate having the windows blocked up, but I think it probably does make a difference to the temperatures. The first couple of nights that I had the heating off again, I was absolutely fine actually. The flat was holding about 13 degrees, probably because of the neighbours more than anything, because everyone else has got their heating on. So yeah, I think I'm taking advantage of that. 13 degrees is fine, and I've only got to power through about a week and a half, and I'll be away for Christmas, and then, you know, heating will be as standard, which is nice but not nice, because it means that when I come back I've got to reacclimatise, and of course we'll be in January by then, which means it's probably going to be a lot colder. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping we have a mild winter, purely for all those of us that don't want to be paying a fortune for our heating, but equally we need cold winters because of how it affects the environment. You get a lot of invasive species that would normally at the end of the year be killed off by the very cold winters that we used to have. And because we have milder winters, all these invasive bugs and things that like kill trees and stuff like that are surviving the winter and then coming back even harder the next year. So it does have a big knock-on effect. You know, we may like having milder winters, even by a fraction of a degree, but it has huge knock-on effects for everything else. So you have to bear that in mind. And I know that people are more worried about their own heating than the bugs of the world, but it does affect everything. Anyway, I've got 2 minutes, so I'm going to switch off now. I'm going to go and do a clean, and yeah, catch up later. See ya! I was finishing off my clean today and thinking about plans for next year. What aims am I going to have for 2024? And also how you end up doing jobs that you never thought you would do, or jobs that, you know, weren't aspirational, i.e. doing a cleaning job at minimum wage per hour. And thinking about kind of how we end up where we end up. I was really aspirational as a child, like really aspirational. You know, by 12 I had decided that I was going to be famous by 21. I was going to be an author or a scriptwriter or a costume designer. And I was thinking about that in a time well before social media. We didn't have a computer at home, we didn't have internet. The internet was still in its infancy. You had it in some offices. My experience of social media was when I first went out to work in offices in my early 20s. So I had, you know, if you wanted to like get your script in front of somebody or something, you had to write letters or make phone calls. There was no email system, there was none of that. But it's weird that I had those inspirations and those aspirations to be certain things when I didn't have the personality to go with it. I don't have a competitive personality. And certainly as I've got older and I've slowed down, I have lost my interest in working hard enough to get what I want. And I think that's a combination of things, and the general disillusionment that you get as you get older and realise, you know, you can't conquer the world. You can't always change anything. But doing things in small doses, you know, I don't want to be doing the same vlog that I'm talking to you now about this time next year. I don't still want to be topping up my income with cleaning work this time next year. Or, well, I won't be on universal credit. It'll be gone in July. But I've also got to fight against the fact that I don't know quite what it is that I want, and I don't know if I can fight hard enough for it, because I just don't have the energy, mentally or physically. And it's not that I just want things to drop on my lap. I don't want someone just suddenly offer me a job, because I've worked very hard to stay out of jobs, like the kinds of jobs that require you to do the 9 to 5 and deal with a lot of people. It's the people aspect that's the problem for me. I just don't want to do it anymore, and that's just the way I am. It's the way I've always been, really, but had to put up with it because you have to go out, toe the line and get a job. And then when I found that there were ways to not have to toe the line and go out and get a job, and I don't mean on handouts, I mean just by having side hustles and, you know, starting your own business and working from home and doing all sorts of other little bits and pieces. That's really how I worked it out. And now that I've worked out that that is a possibility, it makes me want to work harder to stay out of those irritating office jobs that I wasted nearly 20 years of my life on. Anyway, thoughts. Just been to the post office. Guess who thought, nah, don't need a brolly, it's not raining. And then the heavens opened. I'm absolutely soaked. So just been to the post office to send my only 2 Christmas cards, which I have to post. And I sent it second class. And it's to my parents and then my brother's family. And because they live over the road from each other, I just send them in the same envelope. Second class letter, £1.54. Crazy. Came back via my little cafe. 50p for tomatoes. Proper sized tomatoes, not cherries. Profitable morning, and now I have to go and dry myself off. Today's weather has been gorgeous. Look. Sunny. I've peeled back the bubble wrap. You can see this. I found a way of being able to just draw it back like a blind, so that on the nice days I can get the light in. And I think for this next week, which is the last week before I go away, day temperatures are going to be about 12 degrees, and because I'm used to living in quite a cold environment now, it feels warmer outside than in, so I've had a couple of windows open and it's been absolutely gorgeous. I've been really busy trying to get myself organised for going away. So today I have been tackling the Christmas wrapping. Had a good old go at that. I've done all the actual wrapping, I just need to sort out the labels, which I will do another day. I had to get tidied up and hoovered before it gets too dark, because the place just looked an absolute tip. So I've done some housework as well, because it's so much dust everywhere. So there's a little spiel of me trying to wrap presents in my front room. It looks really chaotic, but I've mostly used bags this year actually. One thing we do at the end of Christmas is we gather up all the gift bags and divvy them up so that everyone's got an even span of bags ready for next year, and that goes for birthdays and things as well. So we're always reusing bags, and they get recirculated every year, and you can see which ones are new and which ones have been pre-used. I still have quite a lot left over, but I've only needed like 7 gift bags. As you can see, I have tons of wrap. I haven't bought wrap in years. I think the only thing I've bought is some of those little foil twirly tie things. And I have all my own tags and things, so I haven't spent anything on wrap. Those rolls of wrap are from like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, because I use a mixture of what's recycled, like the tissue paper, and the wrap and all the bags and things. I only use very small amounts of paper wrap, which would normally end up in the bin, but those rolls there I've had for about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. I cannot remember when I bought those, but that's great because it means it's saving me some money. I have fallen into my own trap though, which is, now that I've put everything into bags, I've noticed that my mum's, she's got the same number of gifts as everyone else, and they're all good things, but they're really small, and I'm now really worried that I haven't bought her enough. So I've texted my dad and say, is there anything else that Mum wanted that you haven't dealt with that I could get? So I'm going to see. They've got a couple of joint presents between the mum and dad, so no one's going short, and the stuff that I have bought, you know, it's all good stuff, but it's tricky because normally at Christmas when you have everybody round and all the kids were round and everyone was unwrapping presents together, you wouldn't notice that it was a smaller amount. But because on Christmas Day me, Mum and Dad will do our presents at home and then we'll go over the road for the kids, I always look like I've got more than everyone else because my mum just goes mad and overbuys. and it feels a little bit like, oh, I haven't bought enough, because... So I do fall into my own trap, of course I do. I think we're all under that similar pressure for quantity. But I have asked Dad just in case there's something else, because there actually might be something. Anyway, so yeah, Saturday has been glorious. Still got the windows open, the sun's beginning to set, which means it's dropped at this point on my front room windows, which is lovely, because it means I get the sun in the afternoon. There's a breeze, but it's not cold. So as you can see, look, I'm practically in. I've got one jumper and one top on. And it feels like autumn. It feels like early autumn, when the temperatures are starting to drop, but it's still nice. That's what it feels like. And it's going to be like this all week. So I'm really pleased about that, because that means my last week here before I go isn't going to be that cold. We're doing okay. Yeah, we're doing okay. We're hanging in there. Keeping busy. Still have tons and tons of things to do over the next 5 days. There's a lot of cramming to do, but we're getting there. Slowly but surely. Do you like my stripy face? Is that a bit better? Like my sun stripes. Look, I've got a mask on. I'm an idiot. I'm gonna go. Bye. Felt really restless last night. Just couldn't settle. And it's probably just because I'm going away soon and there's lots to do. Everyone's routines are starting to change. I mentioned before, looks like one of my neighbours is moving out, and the neighbours underneath me, their routines have suddenly changed. So I think he's got a new job because he's not getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning anymore. And the last 2 weekends they've been up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, which is unheard of, because normally you wouldn't hear them moving around until at least 10 o'clock in the morning, and going out in the car. So I don't know what's going on. And this morning there's a chap out in the road setting up a drone, which is now flying around. So I don't know what's going on. It's weird when little things change like that and kind of knock your routine out. It's not a big deal really, but yeah, he's packing up the drone and he's going now. He's in like a highway maintenance vehicle, so I'm guessing they're doing aerial footage to look at roads or something or other. Maybe something they can't get to. There's a lot of closed off buildings around here, or maybe they're looking at roofs, I don't know. Yeah, so Sunday morning I've got to go off and do my clean soon. My Sunday morning double clean. But I won't have to do the Tuesday clean, because I'm going and doing it on Thursday instead. And then we're done. We will be done for the year, and I shall be so pleased about that. Hope this mishmash makes sense. My recording is going to be all over the place for the next few weeks, because some stuff I'd already banked up and not had time to put out. Then there's the away stuff, and then there's stuff where you'll see me looking different, which will be explained, and that will probably throw you all out of sync as well. But things will get back to normal at some point, early-ish next year. Yeah, it's just a random weekend. It's the last weekend before Christmas, so I have a bit of time and I'm in need of a few things just to get me through. Anything that's left, likely to be vegetables, will get thrown. So I've been to Morrison's Sunday morning, got a few deals. So Savers crumpets were 45p, now 33p. I'm really into crumpets at the moment. Greek style yoghurt with honey. Don't often see these. So these were £1.45 down to 44p. So I got 2 because that will help me with desserts for the rest of the week to go. Broccoli was 75p. Boy, the price has gone up on broccoli. Now 23p. So I got 2 of those. Anything I don't eat, I will blanch and put in the freezer for when I get back. Never wasted. And the other thing that I now do is, if you haven't already seen the video I did, is I buy my milk in 6 pints, and then I decant it into 1 pint bottles. I put it in the freezer, and when I need it, I defrost one of the pints. I put it into a 2 pint bottle, and then I top it up with water. And that means 6 pints now is now 12 pints, which saves money, and milk is milk. I mean, I don't use it for very much anyway, but it makes it last long. I've only got 1 left in the freezer, which I will probably use before I go, which I will use before I go. So I'd like to have enough for when I get back, so I don't have to worry. So on the discounted, the 6 pints in all the supermarkets pretty much is £2.15. But there was a reduced one on the reduced fridges, and that was £1.61. So I've now got 12 pints of milk for £1.61. So that's pretty good. So that's my save for Sunday, and I think that is probably my last shop for 2023. Actually, I think that's it. It'll make a very slight difference to the food audit post, but it's not very much, because some of this I also had a gift card with Morrison's, so a little bit of that. I only paid what was it, £5 something. £5.03 I actually ended up paying for all that. So yeah, I bought a couple of other things that were nothing to do with food, so we saved money. Anyway, so that's that. That's my last shopping haul for 2023. Good. That's all I can say. Look at my seedlings. Here on the left are my broad beans, doing pretty well. And here on the right are the meteor peas. So I have high hopes for spring cropping, and this makes me really excited for spring. Let's get through winter as fast as possible. Look at that. Don't they look wonderful? I have to say, I find it really funny how people get offended by my dressing gown. And it's usually people, I think, who are commenting on one video that they found rather than looking at a lot of them. You know, if you look at my videos from the summer, I'm not in a dressing gown. Like a lot of people at this time of year, putting on the heating is a bit of a luxury. It's expensive, and you're only going to put it on when you really have to. If you think that I am in my pyjamas under this, that's ridiculous. I don't sit around all day doing nothing, and if that's what you think, then you clearly haven't been watching my channel. Back in ye olden days, women would have had house coats, which they would have thrown on over their layers at home to add as an extra layer. These days we just use dressing gowns. So underneath here I have 2 jumpers on, and I'm fully dressed in outdoor clothes. But when I come in and I'm working around the home and etc, etc, I will put this dressing gown on because it adds an extra layer. It's like having 3 jumpers on. It's cold here. It's 14 degrees in this flat because energy is expensive, and if you don't understand that, you're probably not having to worry about your energy bills. You are probably in a completely different country, or you're just a complete idiot. And there are lots of us who are in dressing gowns during the day, over our layers. We're not sitting around in pyjamas smoking drugs or whatever else you think we're doing. We're just keeping warm as we go about our normal day-to-day business. I work from home anyway. I run a business from home. YouTube takes up a lot of my time and is now monetized, so that's now becoming an income. And not all of my work is indoor based, but I will record my YouTubes usually from home because it's the quietest, most sensible place to do it. And this is warmer. Look, layers, keeping warm. It's December. If you don't understand that, then you probably shouldn't be following this channel. Some of you people are just like, you see one video and you just assume so much. You just throw out a comment and you don't think, and you don't try and find the backstory, or you don't read the comments by other people, because you know, when you choose to offend somebody for one thing, you're probably offending half the people who comment and follow the channel, because we're all in very similar situations. And if you're not in this situation, or you don't understand, or you don't get it, or you think it's stupid, don't follow. Go and find another channel that's, I don't know, selling you Temu, or giving you Amazon hauls, or whatever else it is that you prefer to do. You don't have to watch a video you don't like, and you don't necessarily have to comment on a video you don't like, because what you don't like about it may not actually be a valid comment. Sorry people, but if you don't like the dressing gown, find another channel. Today something is changing. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. What do you think? New haircut. Finally. All year I've been talking about getting my hair cut and really getting it cut, because it really needed it. And I got a recommendation from the couple that I do the cleaning for a hairdresser. And then they said, well, every Christmas we always put money in a card for whoever's doing our cleaning will pay for your haircut. So they did. So I'm a bit smarter. It'll grow fast, believe me. My hair's really thick, but this feels good. Nice one.